Peace. Well, think fast. Might as well make it a think fast. I want to speak on balancing the divine feminine and masculine, or basically like just balancing logic and practical things, physical nature, being in the physical matrix, and balancing that spiritual nature, that non-physical, going with the flow, and intuitive nature. And basically want to speak on setting goals, because I always tell people myself, like, I'm not one to actually make plans in essence per se, but at the same time, I still have like certain type of goals that that I do have in sights. Like, say for instance, like I always knew I wanted a podcast. I always knew I was gonna have something like a YouTube channel. I always knew I wanted to do music, and I will do music. But in comparison to like having a goal, it's like I think about it like this: not having a goal is like a ship, or like, say for instance, when we leave our house, or like if a ship leaves the dock. Not having a goal is like not having a destination. It's like leaving the dock and just going out there floating the water. And how we say, like, my brethren got a perfect sign for that. Matter of fact, shout out to my brethren Crockett, do work on the boardwalk. Definitely should go check him out. But he got a sign that would say, if you cease to create, you cease to exist. But again, like leaving that dock without no goal, without no destination, you just floating in the water, just existing. You just out there. You're not, really getting to that destination, to that place to go, because you never really set that goal. Our subconscious, our mind, our higher self is taking all our thoughts and focus and putting it out there, for it to manifest. But if we are unsure, as above, so below. Reason why we get unsure manifestations, or it seem like things is in a rut, because things is in a rut with ourselves. It's something that we're not doing on our own self-development. Me personally, I know my situation. It's always that root chakra. That root chakra always it's like trying to hold down a balloon string, and like all of a sudden I just kind of forget, and then it's like, oh, well, I gotta catch that root chakra again and pull it down again. And it also, because the root chakra also deals with survival, taking care of yourself, abundance, things of this nature. So that's my thing, money management and procrastination. I tell anybody, because that's the thing, you got to recognize what you have to work on it, That's what all the shadow self and these eclipses for, because matter of fact, that situation just happened for me where that just kind of came out and reared his ugly face, I had to send out a bunch of timing apologies for my jury, because the procrastination and the money management factor, the shadow self, my shadow self dealing with those areas, showed his ugly head for a little bit, and showed his head just enough to show me, like, you see, you don't want this in your future, and I don't want that in my future, So I'm a work on that. But again, it's having these having some type of goal, and it's not like always planning. Again, it's the balance of the feminine, because again, to think that you control everything too is like, crazy on the spiritual level. As far, not crazy, but like, we are vessels, and it's all about going with the flow of things. Of course, it's going with the flow, and when we perform actions, or if we have thoughts, it's clear cognizant thoughts that come from our higher self, or inspired thoughts that come from our higher self, and our actions are inspired by those thoughts from our higher self, But it's not like, all right, I just feel like I gotta go do something, so let me just go do something. It's like, nah, it comes from clear cognizance. So again, it's a balance, of that logic and that feminine, logic and non-logic or intuitive side. But now we're moving into a time again where at first, as above, so below, you notice it in ourselves, where I know, like, a lot of us, we probably went through this extreme on that feminine. We went through the extreme vibration of being like, extremely on the feminine side, until we kind of noticed, like, all right, yeah, I want to be super intuitive. I want to go with the flow, and to hell with logic, to hell with the left brain. And I use left brain for lack of a better word, but the aspect of, just that left brain logic. But, it's like, to hell with it. You know, we was on the extreme with it, but then to come to see that, all right, maybe it does take that balance, you know. And I'm pretty sure if you haven't got those omens, you will get that omens of like, of course you want to be, you know, as the divine feminine, you want to be extremely intuitive, and we are becoming more magnetic, so it is going to be less of that masculine energy in a lot of areas, but at the same time it does take that balance, and that's what we're learning, you know. It's a balance, the divine feminine energy coming in strong. Matter of fact, I remember like a book told me the raw parchment scroll of black supremacy, and one of the first things it said, because I'm pretty sure when I said that title, the first thing that stood out to most people, ego or whatever, was black supremacy. But the first thing it said in the book was like, this book is not about black supremacy and the thoughts of like, you know, like to mirror white supremacy. It's like, it's more of just and I'm paraphrasing, but it was like in so many words, it's about being pro-African or pro-black in order to just lift ourselves up, because in so many words it's like we've been brainwashed for so many years and for so long. It just takes that pro-African, pro-blackness, you know, walk around saying queen and king just to bring us back to a level place, not even to bring us, you know, back up in essence, but to just take us out of the gutter, you know, in essence. So it's not on no supremacy type of situation, and I always keep that in mind and tell my brethren and sister that, you know, it's not about no dominance. It's just things coming back to its rightful order in the essence of you know, the heart back being a heart instead of being a stomach or anus or a brain or whatever, you know. The heart of the body is moving back into realizing, oh wait, I was a heart the whole time, you know. I'm the thing that's connecting, you know, everything as far as like on earth and the cosmos and this and that. And again, it's not on no ego level, it's just what naturally is, you know. That's why I always bring it up on a bodysuit level. I'm like, you know, it's just where, you know, the bodysuits, the bodysuits with neuromelanin, the internal neuromelanin, you know, is a rise in vibration for those beings, you know. But, you know, but they got some, got a bunch of noise going on over here, so I'm about to cancel the video. Not cancel, but I'm about done anyway. But again, back to speaking on Intudo, when stuff like that happen, again, that balance of, you know, you think you control stuff, but then, you know, it's like I say, I'm in a place where it's a collective consciousness. We are we co-create. So, you know, as much as you try to control things, it's that aspect of chaos to let you know, like, hey, bro, it takes both. You know, that yin and yang balance. You know, I always talk about the white man and the black woman, and white and black for lack of a better word, but that's the polarities on a physical level as well. You know, and that, because you see it with the government, you know, that left brain logic, things of that nature. That's more of like how you say, European white male masculine way of doing things, you know. And then the divine feminine is that mother, that primordial, from darkness let there be light energy, you know what I'm saying? That Kalima, Sekhmet, you know. Again, from darkness let there be light on so many levels. But again, back to the set goal situation, you know, you do want to have that balance and make sure, again, like, it ain't about, because that's one thing that I don't do, like planning every step of my day or every step of the way or things of this nature. Just like, no, I go with the flow. I let you know, again, being aligned with my inner source and my inner being, and I let it inspire me, you know. I let it send me clear cognizant thoughts that of inspiration to, you know, all right, man, go do this. All right, do a video right now about goals and balance, you know. Like, I didn't say, hey, I didn't wake up this morning and say, today I plan to do a video about goals and balance and this and that. Now honestly, because if something, but two, it's just because rolling into the next day. But say, for instance, like, I didn't wake up with that on my mind, it just came to me. Now, if I don't, say for instance, if I wouldn't have did this video today, then it would have been like a plan in essence, like for the next day, where it's like, all right, since I didn't follow through with this clear cognizant thought from yesterday, let me take care of it today. But it's never really, again, like a balance, and all of us different. That's where the zodiac signs come in. Zodiac signs is basically like being created by 12 different beings, or 12 different gods, and some of us have more of certain constellations or certain beings in us than others, and that's why we are different according to those zodiac signs or creators. 12 tribes, whatever you want to call it. 12 tribes stemming from 12 12 houses. And think about the 12 tribes, 12 houses, almost like say for instance, like a assembly line, where our soul energy, travel through these assembly lines, picking up so much energy from each constellation and in each planet as well, because that's like the gods that aid it. The constellation is almost like the star family, and the planets are like the gods that came together, and their vibrations is what made our unique vibrations, or our zodiac signs, our personalities or whatever in the physical. And you can see it like assembly line, like, all right, the Lyrans, they added the Leo, say for instance, the Leo aspects to our being. So, if you were born in August, you spent more time in that house, literally and figuratively speaking, like in that genetic house, they got to work on you more. But then if your genetic house, you spend more time in Aries, and then that particular being, or those particular beings, would work on you, more. And so you would get more of a fiery aspect, because those beings in that Aries area got that fiery aspect to them. And they also deal with the god Mars, so they're gonna, also, have that. And so it's like that situation, like an assembly line. But again, and two, back to setting goals also, you want to remember that the number 13, or like with Jesus and the 12 apostles, the 12 apostles is like the 12 zodiac signs as well. And being that Christ consciousness is like mastering those 12 zodiac signs, or 12 disciples or disciplines, in order to get away to be a universal being where you're no longer locked down by those gods. That's another symbology of that too. Like being locked in your zodiac sign is like being controlled by the gods, or by your particular ancestor, and not, shining your own light, being at number 13, and like transforming in essence and getting away from being controlled by that. But what I was gonna say, even though you don't want to be locked into your zodiac sign and the forecasts and things of this nature, it does help to check out, a daily astrology forecast, and not little newspaper type of stuff, which sometimes you never know, they might hit on something, but like real deep. Like, if you're not going to look at your natal charts, go to sites that deal with natal charts and go see daily horoscopes from them, or go on YouTube. They got people who do daily horoscopes, and they do real in-depth readings and stuff like that. And it does give you an idea, like, say for instance, of course you want to be positive and do things and have a positive aspect, and like, oh man, say for instance, like, oh man, I know it's going to be a sunny day tomorrow, I'm positive that it's going to be sunny this and that. I mean, you could be positive that it's a sunny day, but if it's otherwise, you got to keep it real and be prepared for that rainy day, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta know what's going on in essence. And what I was going to say with that, so with the astrology, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's cool to know, all right, today Capricorn on December 1st, today is not a lucky day to start a business, or tomorrow at 3 o'clock I'm just staying in, you know what I'm saying, it's not a good time to hold conversations with people, whatever the case may be. It be little pointers like a forecast, like, we ain't telling you this is how your life will be ran or should be run, but this is little aspects of like where your energy is going to be moving in this direction, and it'll be beneficial. These energies are moving against you, so it'd be beneficial to do this, or unbeneficial, whatever to do this. So it's just, letting you know, not necessarily, again, not being controlled by it. Again, you do want to master 12 disciples or 12 disciplines, but they do, affect, things, point blank period. So, but just think about that too, putting into like, with setting your goals. But again, it's that balance, going with the flow, as well as having that certain goals or certain plans, and again, to each his own. I operate different when I'm not micromanaging. I operate better. I want to say I operate better when I'm not micromanaging everything with my logic. Like I just flow better off intuition. My whole life, I realized that I've been led to everything intuitively. Like, well, it wasn't books, that led me to my awakening in that manner. Like it was just intuition and going through things, the dark night of the soul and certain things. But it was just my own intuition guiding me the whole time. So I realized too that how strong and more, say for instance, your intuition and your heart is your connection to source, and it is 100% way more accurate than your logic. Your logic is only going off of things that could be proven with sight, and everything will not be proven with your sight. Even down to the point where you drink water every day. But do you prove it to yourself by taking that glass of water and making sure it's H2O? To all the logic people who everything is about logic. Or do you use your intuition and just drink that water and say, it's water? Now, of course, oh yeah, it looks and smells like water, but whatever, you're not logically proving it. So again, though, you do want to embrace more of that divine feminine, more of that intuitive nature, because it brings you closer to God, closer to your psychic powers, closer to our telepathy, metaphysical abilities. Takes us more out of the matrix and takes us more away from the lockdown of our brain. But once you realize and get, where you boost that heart up and you're working from that heart and have the heart working, basically where the heart is over the brain, and not vice versa, then all right, it's cool too, possibly use a little more logic or whatever. But just be careful with logic, because you could trap yourself into the matrix and trap yourself into some very indecisive, ways of doing things, and just having a lot of clutter in your brain. So just be aware of that. But peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Right here on the corner of what this is, 8 and Flower, downtown LA. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. Nope, I'm not gonna do nothing, because they'll probably try to do some copyright stuff. I caught myself. See, clear cognizance, that quick. I was about to do a little joke about this place of business behind me. I ain't even want to, so I'm just, leave it alone. Peace, y'all.